Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pig City Podcast. This is your Week 5 preview. We got Sunday morning overseas. We got the full slate. We got Sunday night. We got Monday night all coming at you. This is the full-length episode. Even a little anytime touchdown parlay for y'all if you want to make a little extra. But Alexander, how are you feeling today?
As good as I can feel, Boston just got eliminated from the postseason. But granted, I told you that we needed to win the first two games. If it went to a game 3, we were losing. So I wasn't confident. So how can I expect the boys to show up? That's on me as a fan.
So football season, and for all of you saying, like, when's Alexander going to get hot? Well, his focus is fully on football now because he's out on baseball altogether, where I still am invested just as an overall fan of the sport. But speaking of overall records, Alexander, you currently sit at 14-14 while I'm 12-16. But just for our Sunday picks, that will be me at 6-6 and you at 5-7. So we're flirting around 500. I'm a little below overall, but it's been a tough year for everybody. So we're going to grind it out. And that's the thing. You got to stay committed long term. So without further ado, you ready to hop into it?
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to start out Sunday morning. And this is the classic overseas games where you have the Vikings playing in London. No Jaguars this time like the old days, but they are taking on the Cleveland Browns as a 4.5 point road favorite, but both teams are on the road. Technically, the Vikings are the away team if you care about that kind of weird statistical anomaly. But the Vikings 4.5 point favorites. Alexander, this is your squad. Your Vikes. You've been on them all year. Are you sticking with them here in London, or is this a trap game across the pond?
This one, I ain't going to lie to you. It was a tough decision. And it was mainly tough because both of these teams have really good defenses to me. And like Cleveland, I feel like all year we've been saying just get Flacco out of there. Like the offense ain't putting up enough points. Like it ain't moving well enough with them. Like make a change. Well, they're making that change. So now is that change going to make me feel differently to where I'm like, or do I need to wait and see it? And to be honest, if it wasn't against Minnesota's defense, which I think is a really good defense in this league, I would go Cleveland. But saying all that, I'm going to go Minnesota. I just like them better in this situation. It's another week of the Wentz show. That should be fun and entertaining to watch. Another international game for them. They're already going to be a little bit more, I guess, I would think they'd be more used to that. Like, they've already been out there probably longer than the other ones. Like, I just feel like that team's going to probably be clicking a little bit better and more adjust to everything. So, yeah, give me Minnesota in this one.
Yeah, I'm also with the Vikes, 4.5. It seems like a weird line because the Browns defense has been competitive, but if you're telling me the Vikings and their coordinator get to take on a rookie in their first start, in a really weird situation where he's not even used to NFL schedule at all, and now it's all thrown off. I think the Vikings defense dominates this game, to be honest with you. I feel pretty good about this one, so probably stay away from it. All right, first on the illustrious docket, we have Alexander going to pick his first pick of the week.
I'll start with my most confident one. It was the one when I saw the games, I saw the lines. It felt like I just couldn't pass it up. Immediately was like, yeah, this is a must play. It feels like an immediate lock, which sometimes, that can be scary. But with saying all that, my first pick of the Pig City pick of the week going to be the Detroit Lions, 10-point favorites taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. And I am going to take Detroit. I get it's a big line, but I just believe in Detroit, and Cincinnati just looks like they're a shell of themselves right now. So, yeah, give me Detroit all day in that one. And also, a little anytime touchdown to go with that one, I'll give you. I like David Montgomery in this one.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm 100% with you on the Lions, though. They're a team that they like blowing teams out. Whenever they can put their foot on the gas, they do it. And I expect a big game from all parties. Start everybody on the Lions offense, basically in fantasy. Let them ride. Nothing scares me about any kind of cover at the end, or the only way this doesn't cover is just like it's the NFL and it's football, and you're not supposed to always have the obvious things happen. So I am fully with you on that one. So since technically that's one of my picks, Alexander, do I pick the next one, or do you want to go with another one?
I'll go with another one. My next one on the docket, let's go with this one. Pig City, pick of the week, number 2 for me. I am going to be deciding between the New York Giants taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 1.5 point favorites. And I'm going to be honest with you. when I saw this one, I was like, that is just a possible two bad teams, and it could end up into a great like game, like hard
Oh,
fought,
okay.
close, little dogfight. But at the end of the day, I was kind of surprised to see the Saints as a favorite. So then I started thinking, like, am I just buying too much into what the Giants did last week against the Chargers? Am I just buying into the dark hype? Am I just overlooking the Saints, or the Saints finally getting the respect because they were in it with the Bills? And then I was like, no, like, I think what I feel is completely right. And that is the Giants. I like the Giants in this one. And I really like Jackson Dart to do pretty good in this one. And they got Scottaboo clicking. I think it's going to be a real high scoring game possibly for both these teams. But
Well, that's interesting. This is not one of my picks, but I would definitely be on the Giants side. That was kind of my fourth man out or first man out, I guess you'd say, my number 4 pick of the week. Yeah, not on my official ticket, but I'll ride with you on that. But I don't feel the same way about the gameplay of it. I think it's more the Giants defense is going to pose some threats, and we saw last week their defense can kind of get after you like they did with the Chargers. And I definitely don't think the Saints have the weapons outside to do anything. So yeah, I think the Giants kind of just handle this, and we'll get to see how their offense looks playing with the lead. And sometimes it's a little easier to try to play upset where you have nothing. Now they're going in this expecting to win. And I know it's really, really early in his career, but right now it seems like Jackson Dart might kind of be just that, like, I'm going to find a way to win type guy. We'll see. But yeah, I like the Giants in that one as well. All right. So now finally my pick. I'm going to go with my most confident pick of the week. And it's a team, Alexander. And you're going to know exactly where I'm going as soon as I say this. It's a team that I might need to seek help for. It's a team that I can't quit. It's a team we actually just talked about that lost to the Giants last week, and that is the Los Angeles Chargers, as they are hosting Washington. They're hosting a well-rested Jaden Daniels, who hasn't played in 3 weeks. I missed the last 2 games, so he should be coming in mostly healthy. To my knowledge, he's fully playing. There's not even a question anymore. So I guess maybe that's why this line is reduced a little. But Chargers are 2.5-point favorites at home, given they don't have the best home field. I don't know that a lot of Washington fans are making that trip out to the West Coast. But Harbaugh, after a bad, embarrassing loss, Herbert, who his MVP odds, he was in the top 5 before last week's game in their loss, and he's not very much out of that now. But the point is, he's playing great. I think that was a bad loss, and they haven't bounced back. I think this line is kind of people being like, oh, it's the Chargers, and it's Jaden Daniels. This is going to be the week where we really find out how this Washington team is. And of course, their fan base is going to be like, well, it was his first game back. Like always an excuse. There's no scary Terry, whatever. Chargers win this one. I'm not going to do this, but I'd tease it up to 4.5. I really would, but I'm not going to, so I guess I wouldn't.
okay. Yeah, that game was also in one of my final decisions, but it didn't make it on my top 3 for me. And the main reason it didn't make it is, unlike you, I want the Chargers to show me they're not the same old Chargers. I want to make sure they're not the same old Chargers. So I felt like it was just, I'm going to sit it to the side. Yes, I liked them in this one, but I need to take a week off from them after last week.
Yeah.
But with saying all that, the second leg of my 4-leg or anytime touchdown, I like Quentin Johnston to have a touchdown in this one.
I like that.
I think he gets a big play over the top for a touchdown.
Big strides, can't catch him. Athlete. Yeah, and see, you're saying, like, you're scared and that's what I'm saying. I think I have a problem. Like, it's a real condition. All right. You're up, Alexander.
All right. Leg 3 of my Pig City picks of the week will be deciding between the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Texans are favored at 2.5. The Ravens, before Lamar was possibly ruled out, I think they were like, didn't I tell you how big of a swing was it?
Some places you get it at 5.5, but I saw 4.5.
Yeah, like 5.5, 4.5. Like, it was a big swing once Lamar got ruled out. And so I started thinking about it. Like, technically, Baltimore still hasn't ruled out Lamar, which is wild that he hasn't been ruled out to this point. Just because, like, you saw reports like on Monday that he was going to miss like 2 to 3 weeks, which the 3rd week would be in their bye week. So not really that big of a deal. But it's just like, so why has he not been ruled out if there's already like reports like that circulating? But then if you think about it, they really probably are trying to do everything they can to get him to play, because both of these teams are not in a good spot right now. Both of these teams need a win here.
Desperate.
badly.
I think it's fair to call them desperate.
But when you look at that Ravens team, they look depleted. They look beat up. They're injured all over the place. It's a lot like what's happening with the 49ers. But unlike with the Ravens, the 49ers are finding ways to win with little pieces on the field. And some could say that has to do with the culture, the coaching staff that's in place. If you think about it, the Ravens have shown they don't have that mentality, I guess, when things get tough. A lot of times they kind of just fold and become a shell of themselves in big moments. A lot of times they have like letdowns and key moments constantly. And
So
then
you're
you're
telling
asking a team like that to basically be like, all right, next man up. Like, we got to do this. We can do this. We can win. And they just ain't got that mentality in them. And then you go to the Texans, where it's a team that we wrote off after the first 2 weeks. I'll say it. All right, I did. But like, this is a break. This is a perfect break for you.
yeah, it is.
Like, this is a chance to sneak one out of here with it while you're still trying to figure stuff out. Your defense still looks great. You just haven't figured stuff out on offense. It looked like in the fourth quarter of last week, though, they figured something out. They started getting Woody involved, and it kind of opened up their offense a little bit. So, with saying all that, I do like Houston in this one at 2.5. And on top of that, my third leg of my 4-leg anytime touchdown, I have Woody Marks.
All right. Yeah, you're definitely all in on. I'm going to be honest. I thought there was a chance you're going to go Ravens. Cooper Rush, we know his record as a backup. He beats every team in the NFL except the Eagles. Can't beat them. Alexander, the Colts blew the game last week. They beat themselves. The Texans get a break against the Ravens this week. They're not dead in this division. Again, the only thing that hurts me about this long term is I also have the Ravens winning their division, basically tied to every Texans winning their division also. So it's a tough spot for me. But either way, I do like the Texans side of that. But that is not actually my last pick, Alexander. That was not on mine. My last pick is a game where this is a real test of how much do you like watching football. Because if you're telling me you're excited to watch the Miami Dolphins play the Carolina Panthers, I don't believe you. I don't know what's going on with these teams. I don't know if Bryce is a younger version of Tua or if Tua is an older version of Bryce. Heck, I don't even know that they're different people. Sunday might be the first time we've ever seen them on the same place at the same time. Anyways, Dolphins are 1.5-point favorite on the road in Charlotte. And if there's one thing I know about the faithful fans of the North Carolina/South Carolina Panthers team is they will not show up in droves for this game. There's no presence there. They don't have any kind of commitment. I mean, that's a trip for Miami, but there's probably going to be fans, probably 40% of the stadium's going to be Dolphins fans. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Despite the Dolphins kind of having a gruesome injury to Tyreek Hill, seeming like nobody's showing up for meetings, the past 2 weeks they've looked decent. I mean, they didn't pound the Jets, but they played pretty good on offense. They had a good game plan against the Bills. This comes down to coaching, and as much as people want to hate the guy, I think his offensive game plan is going to be enough to beat the measly Panthers, who have had one good game and made everybody think that their preseason little darling Panthers were good, but maybe the Panthers just have a thing against left-handed quarterbacks. That's the only way. I try to always talk myself out of my pick, and that's all I could come up with, is maybe they know how to play defense against the left-handed quarterback. So with that, all that being said, this is one of my favorite picks of the week because I know you Panthers fans are going to be real happy to be mad at me and mad at me and mad at me, and then you're just going to be sad at me on Monday because your team stinks. Go Dolphins. Go Fins. Shouts out Dalt.
Okay.
And this is, Alexander, the first leg of my anytime touchdown, and that's Devon Achane to find the end zone. He's going to have probably 9 catches this game. They can't stop him. The Panthers can't stop him, and the Panthers, do you know the Panthers starting running back this week? I'm almost confident it's Rico Dowdle. He looks taller compared to Bryce, I'll say that.
Rico looks bigger in a Panthers uniform than he ever did in a Dallas uniform. I'll say I've said it all year anytime I see him on the screen. I don't know if it's the jersey number or what, but he just looks bigger in that Panthers uniform.
Will they play bigger in the Panthers uniform?
I don't know. Tune in to find out, right? But yeah,
More like don't turn the TV off.
I like Miami in that one as well. And my fourth leg of my anytime touchdown actually takes place in that game as well. And that is Devon Achane. I like him to have a TD as well. So we are locked in on that one together.
Okay, everybody, scrap everything we've said so far. Put it all on Achane to score a touchdown.
And then,
responsibly.
Yeah, outside of that, like, it is a kind of game where I'll be watching to see which one of those quarterbacks is worse. Because Tua is like all over the place. Bryce looks like he's all over the place constantly. And I really like I feel like this is a game, if you're Bryce, like, you have to show up and perform well and not be the reason your team loses. Like, you have to execute in the big moments because if it's probably any of the top 15 quarterbacks in the league, we probably feel differently and feel like they have a chance in this game. And probably, you probably wouldn't even have it in your top 3 selection.
These are two very soft football teams.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And maybe the Panthers, you wouldn't say soft, maybe they're just bad. But the Dolphins' defense, up until the last 2 weeks, have showed no fight. But listen, I don't think they're going to make a run, but I'm not out on the Dolphins anymore. They're still dead, technically, but yeah. Anyways, sorry. All right, Alexander, you want to lead off the next game?
Where are we leading off at?
Bro, it's marked for you. It's your other boys. It's your other boys facing the boys.
All right, the next one that we're going to start off with just to cover all the games for y'all. I actually had in my considerations
Yeah, of course
for my top 6, and that is Dallas taking on the Jets. Dallas is 2.5-point favorites, and this has like the makings of kind of what we saw multiple times this year, like Dallas not being able to really stop people. The Jets will probably be similar to, you would think they're going to try to keep the ball on the ground, little play action here and there. So this one I expect to probably get pretty high scoring as well. It's going to be, if you like offense, probably tune into this one because it's going to be a lot of offense. Dallas is a little banged up a little bit. CD's still out, but they showed last week like they can perform without him out there as long as Pickens steps up and plays like that. And Williams keeps getting hot. And then you go to the Jets, and you would think that they learned a little bit from last week, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like we keep saying that. And I feel like I keep saying that they need to be more disciplined. Like, it's just kind of at this point comical how undisciplined they are. And for like a coach like Aaron Glenn, if you want to be back next year, you got to get these boys disciplined, because if it stays undisciplined, like regardless of if this situation wasn't the best for this year with not enough weapons out there on the offensive side, that doesn't matter if you're not disciplined. You got to at least have them boys like disciplined, not making silly penalties, making it tougher on you on offense than it already was going to be, considering y'all are run first and you have to establish the run. It's hard to establish the run when it's 1st and 15, 1st and 20, like constantly throughout a game. Or like you get it to like manageable 2nd, 3rd downs, and all of a sudden you get a penalty and you move yourselves back. So then it's like 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 10. And with saying that, I actually liked Dallas in this one.
So that's why you didn't pick.
Okay. That's what we're going to say.
What? I don't know how you took that the wrong way. Sorry, y'all. We've been having a little feud this week. No, I'm just saying I respect you not picking if you're on Dallas side. Yeah. I also think the Cowboys. I'm 50-50 on who's going to win this game, because if this was a game where they, for some reason, you had some kind of technology where you weren't allowed to see any logos and all players looked exactly the same, you would think you were watching on Saturday and this was some college game, because this is the most college matchup of the weekend. An offense that can run the ball and basically throws to one guy, and then another offense where the quarterback, he can throw it pretty well, but their defense just loves giving up points.
Well,
Yeah.
Dallas showed last week they're going to throw a lot of screens.
Yeah, I mean, they want to get Turpin involved because, like, Pickens can line up in certain places, but, like, if he tries to go outside, I like Sauce in that matchup. So I think Pickens regresses a little. But, yeah, you know what? Take the points on this game and have fun. So, all right, Alexander, let's finish off the 1 o'clock slate. Another one of your darling teams.
Next up, we have Las Vegas going to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is 7-point favorites in this one. And in this one, if you were to pick it, it kind of feels like a trap game. And I feel like I say that constantly when it comes to the Raiders, because they're constantly underdogs. And it's just, they're a team that can put up points, but their defense is soft. And as you saw last week, like Geno this year just tends to throw picks.
Yeah, is the roof going to be open or closed for this one in Indianapolis?
I don't know. That's a good point. Geno's no longer a dome guy. Maybe they should close it.
Yeah, they close it for the opposing quarterback to be bad.
But with this one, like, I do like Indianapolis to win this one. They probably cover, but it wasn't in consideration for me for my picks of the week, just because I just felt like the line with it being like that, it's set up for like a Raiders backdoor cover or something.
Yeah, I think the Colts either blow them out or lose a horrible game. where they feel like it just got away from them. I don't see it being much in between. But yeah, I think the Colts, they just will show again, and then it'll be the haters like myself who are like, yeah, but it's the Raiders. And it's like, dude, it's an NFL game and NFL team, and they handled them. Like, start respecting the Colts. There has to be a campaign to start respecting the Colts. Because last week I picked the Rams to win, saying they're going to shoot, they're not a real team. And the Colts literally fumbled away their chances. Bad day for Mitchell. Had the holding penalty on the big touchdown. We talked about it already, but just brutal loss for them. And then you see the Rams just drop the game to the 49ers, who had like not even enough people for a team. So Colts got to be feeling pretty good, and I trust them to be ready for it. All right, Alexander. It's now time to talk about our team, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles, who probably have had more criticism and maybe rightfully so excitement about the offensive production specifically as a 4-0 team could have. And they're 3.5-point favorites with the Denver Broncos coming to the town. The Denver Broncos being the preseason, just everybody started just buying in and have them, including myself. And they've just kind of not fully got it clicking yet. Looked a little better on offense last week. Still hasn't been flowing really well. Again, played the Bengals. Maybe you got them feeling right. I'll let you talk first on this then, Alexander, because this could go a lot of different ways of how we want to handle the conversation. Because, I mean, full transparency, guys, we've talked probably 3 hours about the Eagles this week already. So I'll let you kind of dictate where we want to go with this. I do think the Eagles win. I want to lead off with that. I didn't pick them simply because they're also Thursday night next week, and I've picked them twice in a row. I'd end up picking them every single week, and I knew we'd talk about it. So I do think they're going to win. I'll probably forget to say that when we discuss this game.
Just to start off with, yes, I do think the Eagles is going to win. I want to get that out. But I think it could be a painful game to watch. It's probably going to be low scoring. And I think for as a standpoint of an Eagles fan or anybody that is watching this, I don't think this is a game where the Eagles right the ship on offense and figure stuff out, because it's already going to be a elite defense you're going against, and it just feels like a tough game to figure stuff out on the offensive side. But for me, what I'm looking for is I want to see the Eagles offense not look so predictable and just get a pass game going, because it's bad right now. If you watch last week's tape, multiple analysts or that were ex-players, they were yeah, just watching film of that game, literally before the plays even snapped, I can see how everybody's lined up and everything. And I know what each Eagles receiver is going to run. I know what the first read's going to be. It's so predictable. The routes are so simple and predictable. And if you're a defense, it's simple to jump all over it. And I think that's kind of what we saw in that second half, was they just got too predictable. First half, they threw a couple random stuff out there, kind of spark stuff in certain situations, and then it came the second half and the Bucks were able just to lock in on the predictability. I saw a stat where if the Eagles are in shotgun, it's 75% that they're passing. If they're under center, it's 82, 83% that they're running the ball.
Pistol, yeah.
So anytime they line up like that, you know how to adjust to it. And maybe they're setting stuff up. I don't know. I get it. They're trying to get the run game going. I get it. The O-line isn't fully healthy and it's not opening the lanes as well. But we're still attempting to run the ball, which I love. But if you're attempting to run the ball this much, why are we one of the bottom teams in play action? Get some play action going. But granted, maybe you can't get the play action going because the route that your receiver is going to run is just going to be predictable. So then your quarterback's just not going to have anybody throw to and get hit when he rolls out. I don't know. It's just, as a fan, very frustrating for me to watch constantly. And I just want to see improvement. And it sucks that the bye is still, 4 games away?
Yeah.
So you can't really say, well, we're getting ready to go to the bye, we can fix it. No, we got 4 games until then. And we're going to have to kind of either fix it on the fly during the week and stuff, and maybe we see a little bit of improvement here and there during the games until they get to the bye, when they can really buckle down and focus on just that instead of just game planning as well for their matchup. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and for all you haters that are like, dude, y'all are 4-0, where do you complain? Here's the thing, and this is, where some Eagles fans may not completely ride with me on. I just trust the leadership within this team is strong enough, even though there's lots of storylines coming out. No, if there is inside turmoil going on inside the Lakers locker or Eagles locker rooms, we're not knowing about it, and that doesn't really happen that much. Where it's like, oh, they're not happy or this. It's like, well, if there's really big problems, they're doing a pretty good job of masking it. But with that being said, the main point here of why they're going to win this game is this defense still is getting collectively better and better. Jalen Carter, he's a little hurt, couldn't finish last game, but he said he's fine. He's played with injuries his whole life. And he said it just is crazy to him that like him and Jordan Davis are not even close to what they know they can be. So I love that. Love that energy. Zach Ball is going to continue to play a little. Hopefully Reed picks it up on the back end. Maybe he makes a big play in this game. He always seems to do that in big moments. Quinyon Mitchell, just NFC Defensive Player of the Week last week. He's deflecting balls. He's breaking up plays. The fact that they're willing to throw at him is good nationally because people are going to see him more. So there's a lot of positive about this Eagles team. But yeah, there's been 2 or 3 times where offensive linemen have went out. They got switched out. Obviously, when Lane went out the first time, before we started putting Fred at tackle, it's like Pryor just letting people by. Jalen Hurts is getting destroyed. But Jalen Hurts is still a great leader. Jalen Hurts is still going to make the right play, still going to do the right thing. The offense does have to be better. And unfortunately for Eagles fans, I hate to tell you, it probably isn't going to look a whole lot better this game, and they're still going to win, and you're still going to feel the exact same way because this also is a tough matchup as far as, like, you're not going to out-physical them up front, and that's when the Eagles really dominate. But I think the defense I don't think Denver is really a great football team yet, and I think the defense just takes advantage. We're going to win the turnover battle. And I do think that's part of the problem is like, hey, it's great to protect the ball, don't turn it over. And ball security is job security. I get all that. But when the number one goal of your offense is, hey, don't turn the ball over, it becomes pretty evident that that's what you're focusing on. So I'm not as pessimistic as some that it will not ever be fixed. But I do agree, like, the offense has got to be better. You can't watch this team and say, yeah, this team it's week 4, though. It's week 5. I get it. But I'm not saying things are just perfect. It's not, obviously, but you have the pieces, and that's way more than most of these teams we're talking about have. So go Birds. Sorry, y'all, if that took a little longer than you wanted to hear us talk, but it's our favorite team. So you want to talk about your favorite team, join us. If you would like to join, comment, send a message, let us know. We are more than happy to have guests on. We'll do your game first so you can get out of here, and we will accommodate to you. So let us know.
I will say real quick before we move on, I did like what I saw last week with we were down Adoree, but I liked seeing Coop lined out wide playing like straight up. Like wasn't back in the nickel or the slot. And I liked it. He played very well in that spot. That makes me feel a lot better going forward as far as that goes on the defensive side. The fact that we can just move him there and know that he's going to succeed in that situation.
Nakobe Dean started practicing, might have a little flexibility, moving him or Campbell around a little. There's some positives on that side of the ball for sure. But Alexander, I buried the lead on this one. Bad journalism by me. We wanted to get our expressions and our frustrations and all that above. But Saquon Barkley's finding the end zone, and that is the second leg of my anytime touchdown parlay. I don't know if it's going to be through the air or on the ground, but Saquon Barkley will walk across the end zone, and you'll be like, oh, great, I'm 2/3 of the way to supporting Pig City Podcast and making yourself a little dough.
Okay.
All right, Alexander, you can pick between these next 2. We got 2 home NFC West teams.
And out of the next game we have up is Tampa Bay going to Seattle. Seattle is 3-point favorites. Tampa Bay is a little banged up, but both of these teams still look very respectable right now. And I don't think, or to my knowledge to this point, there hasn't really been a ruling yet on if Bucky will play or not. It's trending like he probably won't.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's not.
But with saying all that, like this matchup was the last one that was in consideration for me for my 3 picks of the week.
Oh.
And I like this game as far as like, it'll be a game I'm definitely wanting to watch and be tuned into. I think it's going to be hard fought. Both these teams at times have shown very good promise on offense. Their defenses keep them in the games. So even when they struggle, or like last week we saw Seattle got up and then it looked like they kind of offense just stopped being able to produce. Defense was able to hang on and everything. But then you got Tampa Bay where last week their defense didn't look as great, kind of position Eagles kept getting in to start the game, kind of got behind the 8 ball. And then Tampa in the second half, they made adjustments and locked in, kept them in the game, set it up for a what they've basically done all year, Baker to have a last minute drive to win them the game. And it just didn't work out for them. But it kind of shows that both of these teams just got a lot of fight in them. It's not over for either one of these teams till that last whistle blows. But even with saying that, I do like Tampa Bay in this one. Dude, it's hard to write off Baker. The reason I didn't select it for my final three was I just like the other ones better, and I feel like this one was a probably closer game. Like, it really feels like it could be a coin flip, but with the line being 3, like, it felt like it would probably feel like this game's going to be decided by like 3 points at some point in this game, or that could be the final score difference on either side.
Okay. Yeah. I echo a lot of what you said about the matchup in the game and all the above, but I'm on the other side of this. I think Seattle's just a better team overall right now based on health. I think they're just a healthier team, and I think that's what decides this game. Maybe a potential playoff matchup. The Bucks look like they're going to definitely win that division, so if the Seahawks make it or not. This last matchup is indeed the Tennessee Titans and the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona being a 7.5-point favorite. Huge line, but Cardinals are winning this game. The Titans are horrible. I'm just over the Titans altogether. So yeah, that is the end of these picks. We have the Sunday night game coming. That is New England Buffalo. Make sure you subscribe. That should be linked to this at the end. So we appreciate it. Deuces.